how is one to put their foot down and change / better their condition without unnaturally manipulating their world? Well, the fundamental answer to that is to speak the truth and to let the consequences of that unfold. But then the trick is, well, how is it that you come to speak the truth? Well, in order to do that, as far as I can tell, you have to be terrified of the consequences of not speaking the truth. And part of that is, well, look, do you want the truth on your side or not? Do you want to be facing the truth as an enemy, or do you want to have the truth behind you as an ally? And the truth is reality. And I don't see that you want reality as an enemy. And so if what you do is use your language to represent reality as accurately as you possibly can, given all your inadequacies and biases, you're bound to make errors, but that's the goal. Then you have the force of reality behind you. It's as if you know where you are. You might not like it, and you may be, maybe it's a terrible craggy chasm full of lava and water, but at least you can see where the obstacles are and you can pick your way through it. So, and then the naturalness is, well, from the Taoist perspective, in some sense, you're aiming at being at peace with the world. And that means accepting it in some sense for what it is. And you can't speak the truth unless you're willing to do that. And that means, to a large degree, it means exploring the depths of yin and yang, of order and chaos, the order to know that, like, there are tyrannical forces afoot. And some of them operate in you, and some of them operate in the social world. And some of them operate, for that matter, in the natural world. Too much crushing order. And on the chaotic side, there's the possibility of nihilism and hopelessness and depression, and that a complete cataclysm. And so there's cliffs on both sides of you, and you have to be aware of that, because you don't want to fall into those cliffs. And there's a thin pathway between them that you can walk down if you're careful. And you feel your way down that pathway by noting what you say, noting whether what you say puts a foundation underneath you. There's a New Testament injunction to that goal, to build your house on a rock and not on sand. And what's the rock? Well, the rock is the truth and integrity of your character and of your voice. That's what it is. And you see, you want to aim at something noble. That's the alliance with God. That's one way of thinking about it. You want to serve the highest good. And you have to think very hard about what that is. I mean, we know what it is to some degree, or we have some collective conception of that. It would be peace. That would be something. It would be the willingness and desire to treat other people like you would like to be treated. If you were treating yourself properly, it's that as well. It's characterological nobility. It's the desire to serve the good. It's truth and beauty and all of those classic virtues all integrated into a single thing. You want to serve that. And then having aimed at that, you want to, and that governs how you're going to see the world, right? That sets the lens, or it sets the frame through which the world manifests itself to you, right? So it's as if you're getting your spectacles adjusted properly, and then the world reveals itself to you, and then you use your language to articulate that. And that's naturally. It's not natural. It's very difficult. Now, if you don't do that, what you do is you end up using your language to manipulate people into giving you what you want. And that's not helpful, because, what do you know about what you want? Look, part of this is faith in truth, like really, it's hard to emphasize this importantly enough. You have to make a decision in your life at some point. Look, about how you're going to use your words. Like, you can use them instrumentally and you can use them to manipulate people. You say, well, this is what I want from this situation, and here's how I'm going to have to craft my words to get it. Or you can think, well, I'm oriented properly in the world, and I'm going to say what I think and let things happen. And those are they're really two different modes of being. I wrote about this in 12 Rules for Life. They're really two different modes of being. And the latter one, which is faith in truth, that's the same as faith in the logos, by the way, from a symbolic perspective. It's the faith that truth is that which turns uninhabitable chaos into habitable order. It's the truth that does that. And so you tell the truth and you throw caution to the wind. And it doesn't mean you tell the truth stupidly, because telling the truth stupidly isn't truthful. You have to do it very carefully and very strategically. Well, and the strategic part, the goal is to get better all the time at carefully articulating what constitutes the truth. You know, it seems obvious to me in some sense. It's like, you got to really think this through. It's like, what do you want on your side? You want falsehood on your side? It's like, who thinks that? You really think that you're going to be able to lie and manipulate your way through the world and that you're going to get away with that? Like, there's an arrogance that goes along with that arrogance in belief, that arrogance of belief in your capability to deceive, and that you're going to pull the wool over everyone's eyes, right? You're going to deceive yourself because you're going to believe in your own maliciousness and mendaciousness. You're going to deceive other people because they're stupid and they won't catch on. And you're going to deceive God and reality itself, because it's not going to snap back and take you out if you bend and distort it. Like, that's so foolish. You don't have a hope. None of that's, you might get away with your lies for a certain amount of time, but they're going to aggregate and take you out, man, at every level, not least your own guilt and your own self-contempt. And so, well, that's a good answer to that question.